What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube modeling community? This is Hooterville75 with Midnight the Ferocious Sissy, bringing you another video from the open air model shop through the power of the internet. And in tonight's video, I would like to do the intro to the 2016 Cancer Awareness Build hosted by Mindless Model Works. This build's always a really fun build for me, as this topic is something that I have much interest in, as I'm very involved in doing research and finding a cure for childhood cancer. There's just so many young innocent children that lose their lives to this evil disease that I call the C word. I don't even like to say it, but it's pretty near and dear to my heart. So this build's one that I definitely like to participate in every year. The subject that I'm going to be building this year is the Abrams M1A1 main battle tank of the US, which is by Revell, and it is a snap tight kit, skill level 2. So it's a really easy, shouldn't take very long to build kit, but I'm going to be doing some paint work to it to replicate this cancer. Now, what I'm going to be doing is giving it a custom paint job, with no military meaning whatsoever to it. I'm going to incorporate the colors that I've picked ribbon wise for the type of cancer that I'm promoting and incorporate it into the paint job on this tank. Now, bear with me if you see me looking down here. I have a lot of notes here that I want to talk about in this video. So when it comes to picking the type of cancer or the color of ribbon that you want to represent in your build, I don't think a lot of people realize that not only are there cancer names associated with this ribbon, but there's also many awareness programs that are associated with the ribbons too, that go hand in hand with the cancer. For the overall main color, base coat color of the tank, it's going to be a gold, which is childhood cancer. I'm also going to incorporate in the paint job green, which is for childhood depression. And a lot of these colors after the cancer colors relate to me a lot with my mental illness. Childhood depression, one for me is bipolar, one for me is depression. Childhood depression, depression in general, anxiety disorder, another for me, PTSD, another for me, mental illness in general. And another big one that I would like to get more people involved in is the organ donation awareness. So that's the green color that'll be incorporated in. Then we have blue, which is child abuse awareness and addiction recovery. There'll be a little silver, which is disabled children. And then another color that's really near and dear to me, as I lost 3 different family members to this, is red, which is mainly for stroke and substance abuse. The stroke has recently killed my grandmother, so that's still fresh with me and pretty special to me. The orange is another one for me, which is ADHD, and gray, which is personality disorder. And then last but not least is burgundy, which is another one that's huge to me for children misdiagnosed or undiagnosed with rare disorders or diseases, and disabled adults. And with me just coming off disability, this is another color that's pretty special to me. So those are the colors that I'm going to be incorporating into the build. And the reason I'm so big on childhood cancer is because back in '97, I had a friend lose an infant child. The kid was only 8 months old, I think it was, when they passed from cancer. 8 months old. That is just evil. Such an innocent young life taken way too early by the evil C word. Well, we all offered monetary donations to this family to help cover medical bills, you know, expenses, whatever they wanted. And this family, being a semi-wealthy family, wouldn't take anything. And they said, instead of giving us the monetary donation, please donate it to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Now, this is where childhood cancer really got special to me, because I researched this company, and before making a donation, I wanted to do a little research on it and became to know what St. Jude is all about. And basically what St. Jude is, it's a research hospital for pediatric treatment and research facility focused on children's catastrophic diseases, and is a non-profit medical corporation, tax-exempt organization. The information that I'm about to read to you, I picked off of Wikipedia because it best explained it. So, it was founded in '62 in Memphis, Tennessee by comedian Danny Thomas with the help of two of his friends, Lemuel Diggs and Anthony Abraham, with the intentions of belief that no child should die in the dawn of life. So, going on to read about it, basically what it is the hospital look and treat all medically eligible patients accepted for treatment without regard to the family's ability to pay or picking up what the insurance won't cover. If you qualify for treatment at St. Jude's, you don't pay for anything. Insurance either pays it, or what the insurance doesn't pick up, the hospital picks up through all their donations and, you know, where they get their funding from. It cost $1.8 million a day for St. Jude's to operate, and is fully funded by donations. So, in addition to the patients' bills being paid, they also, in addition, families of patients are assisted with transportation, lodging, and meals. So if you're accepted for treatment at St. Jude, you pay for nothing. Insurance either covers it, or St. Jude's Research Hospital themselves cover it. A little about St. Jude's, you know, that makes it so special is, since its start in '62, the survival rate for acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is the most common cancer that kills children, the survival rate has went from 4% of its start to 94% today, which 90% is a huge increase. The survival rate for all childhood cancers has risen from 20% to 80% today. So they treat people all across the USA and from more than 70 countries. So doctors, you know, from around the world that are having trouble, you know, finding a way to heal, take their toughest cases and call St. Jude's so they can consult with the research or the medical staff and doctors at St. Jude's to try to come up with a plan to cure their toughest cases. So funding is received through donations from, like, small donations, like you go to Kmart, Walmart, Target, and they say, would you like to donate to St. Jude's? That's where they're getting their donations from, as well as big corporations, high school ran programs, different fraternities and sororities at college campuses hold events. There's like 11 different sororities and fraternities that are tied in. I know Delta 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 is one of the fraternities that actually sponsor the one room, the one type of lodging. It's called the Tri Delta Center, where they put everybody to stay for the minimal care. They also have an event called the Partner in Hope event, which is an event where radio stations across the United States let people call in and tell their success stories from St. Jude's. Like if you've been treated there, you call the radio station and tell a success story, and then the listeners that are listening to that broadcast may spark interest to call in with a donation. So that's a pretty big fundraising for them too. So and the one I find the funniest is in '95 they received a anonymous letter from Dallas, Texas, and in that letter was a check, or game pieces, game pieces from the Monopoly game piece at McDonald's with the winning pieces of Park, Place, and Boardwalk, which are the two pieces that you needed to win $1 million. So they got a hold of the McDonald's Corporation at St. Jude's, and McDonald's people came in and had a person from their accounting department with them, and they verified these pieces as winning pieces. Well, being that McDonald's in the Monopoly game say you can't transfer prizes, McDonald's went ahead and honored that game piece, even though it was given to St. Jude's. They honored that game piece and continued making the $50,000 annuity payment a year to St. Jude's, even after learning, and this is the funniest part, after learning the pieces were sent by an individual involved in an embezzlement scheme against McDonald's trying to defraud them. McDonald's honored that and paid out the $1 million to St. Jude. So another reason is because of my daughter involved in student council at her high school. They're big into the Four Diamonds, and what the Four Diamonds is an organization that raises money for childhood cancer research and funding help for patients at the Penn State Children's Research Hospital at the Milton Hershey Medical Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And how they get most of their funding is through a big event called Vaughn, which is held at the Penn State University in the Bryce Jordan Center, where they have a 46-hour dance-off where kids are not allowed to sit, they're not allowed to sleep, they're not allowed to nothing. If you're caught doing anything but on your feet dancing, you're asked to leave. That's how they get the people out of there and keep the real people that want to be there for the right reasons there. So what they do is each student takes donations from wherever they get their donations from, and they get paid like so much per hour. That's basically how they get most of their funding. And then they have big corporations that'll pay a set amount per hour for the 46 hours. So more high schools and elementary schools are starting to take on as well for the mini-thons, and that's where my daughter's really involved. She runs a mini-thon for her local high school. They do a 24-hour event, and the elementary schools do a 12-hour event. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be building the M1A1 Abrams main battle tank from the U.S., which is a Revell Snap-Tight Skill Level 2 set. And we'll be painting the base coat gold with green, blue, silver, red, orange, gray, and burgundy in it, incorporated into it somewhere. So, alright, 14 minutes is way too long, about 7 more than I was hoping for. So, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank Kenny, Mindless Model Works, for hosting this build again this year. It's a build that's always special to me. So, if you haven't jumped in, please jump in. I'll put links in the description below to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. If you have the means and you can, please by all means check them out and make a small donation if you can. Like I said, it benefits children's cancer research, as well as possibly helping a child defeat the evil C word, and as well as Four Diamonds. So thanks for tuning in. We'll catch everybody in the next video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll see everybody later. See you now.